I did it though. I got through the first part. I'm having fun. 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court Defendant Lobby. 5. Well done, Naruhodo. That was fantastic. I feel like I'm dying. I can hardly believe it. I mean, just look at you. Drenched in sweat, and knees trembling, eyes darting, teeth chattering. But even in that sorry state, you still managed to grasp the truth. You're more suited for this line of work than I thought. Stop it, or I'll really die of embarrassment. In any case, we finally dragged that phantom woman to the stand. Miss Giselle Brett in exchange for the British Empire, huh? See, I told you there was someone else there. Dr. Watson wasn't alone at the time of the incident. There was a young woman sitting across from him. True, you did say that. At the very least, I do have confidence in my powers of observation, you know. Yeah. By the way, speaking of that lady, I know that the good detective helped her vanish from the crime scene. But did you really not catch any of that while it was happening? No, I can't say I did. Right as I was about to leave the restaurant, I saw the pistol by the doctor's table. It was just lying there begging to be picked up. The next thing I knew... Before I could figure out where the gunshot had come from, that waiter suddenly charged at me like a madman. Then he shoved me into the kitchen pantry. It sounds like a brilliant arrest, just what I'd expect from a trained detective. As for what happened at the crime scene afterwards, well, I have absolutely no idea. Hello again, excellent work out there, you two. I'm guessing, yep. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I'm sorry I tried to accuse you of murder. I still don't trust you, but I apologize. It appears my hunch was correct. The two of you make a fine team. In fact, you're faring even better than I expected. I knew it. This was all part of your scheme, wasn't it, Professor? You plotted to remove me from his defense. This country is still young, its legal system even younger. As such, it is particularly valuable for our nation to have our brightest youth scouring the globe. I intervened only to prevent the possibility that your trip to study abroad could be revoked. And yet, Professor, if I turn out to be a pathetic man who can't even save his best friend, then I will withdraw from the exchange program myself. You can't do that! Oh, but he can. I thought you might say something like that. Sogi. That means everything rests on your shoulders then. Huh? Mine, sir? Prove your own innocence and expose the truth behind this murder. I would love to learn what really happened. After all, I can't say that I'm completely unaffected by this incident. Come to think of it, Professor Mikotoba mentioned that earlier, didn't he? Professor, could it be that you were acquainted with the victim? Well, yes, I was. The one who formerly invited the late John H. Watson to teach here as a professor was none other than myself. Huh? Are you serious? This is my first time hearing about this, too. Whatever the case may be, you both have your work cut out for you. The murder victim was a professor from Britain whose name holds great sway. Thus, our government hopes to convict someone as swiftly as possible. I can't talk right now. What's more, the opponent we're about to face is someone the Imperial Police tried to cover up, a British student and a lady at that. I suspect the prosecution will unleash all manner of underhanded tactics against you. But I know you two are prepared to fight until the bitter end. Hang in there. Yes, sir! And that reminds me. I would like for you to return to the university immediately. We may have some use for you over there. Understood. Kazuma, I wish you the best. Defendant! Recess is ending. Head back to the courtroom at once. It's time. I'm counting on you again, partner. Let's cut the nonsensical ramblings of these old men to pieces. Hey, Asogi? Yes? Thanks, I mean it. Come on, no need to be so courteous. Seriously, if you hadn't put your faith in me, I'd have been declared guilty a long time ago. I have faith in you, not only as a man, but also as both an attorney and a friend. Oh, he's my bro. He's a good bro. If I'm declared guilty in this trial, Asogi really will give up his trip abroad. That's just the sort of guy he is. I'm not the only one whose fate is at stake in this battle. No matter who the opponent is, I can't afford to lose. For Asogi! I guess you're right. I'll save my gratitude for after the trial. Get ready to treat me to the usual beef hot pot at the cafeteria when this is over. The extra large serving, of course. I will, man. If I have the money. 1209. Supreme Court 2? Yep. My man. The court will now resume the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aoshi, how goes the search for the new key witness? Good, Your Honor. She has responded to the summons. Thanks to a certain little brat, our government was scrambling to complete the task. Sorry about that. Responding in a timely manner is their job, not ours. I fail to see the problem. This uproar has surely soured our relationship with the British Empire. We've jeopardized not only the treaty, but also our nation's future. I'm so sorry. A treaty formed with an easily agitated empire isn't worth the paper it's written on. Oh shit. Why does he hate Britain so much? I repeat, I fail to see the problem. I beg your pardon. A secret trial to appease a foreign government, a sloppy investigation, a hidden witness. Where has our nation's sense of justice gone? To which empire does this court belong? Silence! Know your place, student! Your children know nothing of the precarious position our nation is in. For us to one day stand among the powers, profound political strategy is needed. Our path forward shall be paved by diplomacy. While I may be an average student who knows little to nothing about politics, I can feel the truth of Asogi's words just by standing here in this court. An empire with no justice also has no future. That's what I believe. Well said, Naruhodo. Shifty eyes and all. Damn you! Very well then. As our empire's highest bastion of law, the Supreme Court exists for the sake of justice. Let us resume the trial. The court calls the next witness to the stand. Bring in the exchange student from the British Empire, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, she's got a swan hat. Oh, she weird. Oh, greetings, greetings. You must have endured quite the journey. Welcome to Japan. Quick, someone fetch the tea. A proper British greeting begins and ends with black tea. Guys, is that true? Don't know, don't care. Now then, witness, would you please grace us with your name and occupation? Yes, sir. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I'm currently working on the cover of the waiter, but I wasn't talking to you. Ladies first, a proper British greeting always begins and ends with the lady. Is that true? Don't know, still don't care. More importantly, do you remember what you said earlier? One thing I do have confidence in is my own observational skills, was it? Oh, right, I might have said that. Yeah, all you could describe her as was a young woman. Sure you're not actually blind as a bat now? That's fair. That's fair. I have no rebuttal. Anyway, let us start over. Witness your name and occupation, if you please. That's not English. Oh, milady, pardon my rudeness, but come again? She says her name is Giselle Brett. She hails from London. At present, she is a research exchange student in Imperial Yumei's medical program. Oh, your English is so pleasing to the ear, milady. Even though I understood not a word, I am entranced by the beauty of your voice. From what I can hear, we can trust the detective to interpret her testimony accurately. Yeah, I agree. Looks like all that prep work you did to study abroad in Britain won't go to waste. As for you, Naruhodo, it seems your time in the English department isn't just for show. Now then, esteemed witness, apologies for the inconvenience, but we would like for you to testify. 3 days ago, at the scene of the terrifying murder, you were sharing a table with the late Dr. Watson. Is that correct? She says yes. This is going to get annoying fast. This exchange student doesn't even speak our tongue. She says she had to vacate the scene due to the emergency. She deeply apologizes. She had to return to the university for an important research synopsis. Some cheek you have for someone who had personally let her escape. I was simply following the special orders issued to me by police headquarters. Do excuse me, my lady. Could you take a look at this photograph? Every time I do, it makes me laugh. I'm so sorry. When the incident occurred, you were unfortunately at the scene of the crime. Does that mean you bore witness to the crime with those beautiful eyes of yours? You haven't seen her eyes. She says it was a most sad and terrifying spectacle to behold. So she did see it after all. Yes, Your Honor. It seems that she indeed witnessed the crime unfold. The defendant over there. He's the one who shot the victim. That is her testimony of the moment of the crime. She's a liar. Order, order, order in the court. There you have it, Your Honor. This is an incriminating testimony. Now I get it. That woman is our true opponent. I agree. As much as it pains me to say this, witness, please give us your testimony. Describe to us this sad and terrifying spectacle. That day I had joined Dr. Watson for a rather late lunch. The doctor was unable to eat, so I ordered a beefsteak for myself. The accused came over to greet the doctor, but they quickly began to argue. Then, before my very eyes, the student took the doctor's pistol and shot him. That's not at all what happened! What? I was not carrying a firearm, so it is impossible for me to have committed the crime. Okay. But we haven't even accused you yet. I swear I never argued with the doctor! Quiet, you're yammering! The word of the black-hearted villain or the word of a pure-hearted lady? Which do you think we'd trust? Even a scoundrel like you should know. Ugh. Naruhodo, haven't you learned your lesson? Nothing's going to change if you keep raising your hand without thinking. I'm just so frustrated. Shortly thereafter, I arrived on the scene. When I relayed the testimonies of this lady and the 2 previous witnesses to the headquarters, it was concluded that she had no relation to the incidents, thus she was sent home. Now, if only those testimonies were legitimate. In any case, this lady is wearing the same outfit she wore on the day of the incident. As you can see, there is no place in which she could have concealed a pistol. I think there's a lot of places! I think you can hide a single pistol just about anywhere, though. Unless you can indicate the hiding place to us, what you're spouting is mere conjecture. Her hat, her skirt, her neck frills, pick one. This dress has no pockets, there's nowhere to hide a pistol. That is what she says. I'd like to turn that woman upside down and give her a good shake just to check. You better not be thinking of getting violent, Naruto. Come on, I didn't fire the gun I found, so there must have been another one. Exactly, that lady must have concealed it somehow. At least, that's what we need to prove. And to do that, we have to destroy her testimony no matter what. She's evil. She so did it. She killed that guy. She killed Watson. Court orders you to begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. She killed Watson! I can't believe she'd do this. I can't believe you've done this. Hi. 2 p.m., a late lunch indeed. Late lunches are the latest trend in the British Empire. Isn't that so, milady? No. That sounded like a no, a sharp one at that. This lady appears to be a guest at the medical research laboratory, hence she would often go out to lunch with Dr. Watson. But on that day, the victim had a doctor's appointment. I think there's a note about that somewhere in the court record. He certainly did. Whew. It was almost 2 p.m. by the time his treatment was complete. I see. That makes sense. Truly a perfect memory from a perfect lady. The witnesses then gathered at the restaurant. What happened next? Hi! Unable to eat. You're referring to the professor's visit to the Hada clinic, right? That is correct. You didn't even ask her first. Incidentally, was the lady aware of that visit? Yes, she heard about the tooth extraction the day of. That means you were the one who ate the beef steak, after all. You were the one. That is correct. The photograph reveals how the scene looked at the time, sad and terrifying. At the time, huh? Indeed, what a tragedy. To have ventured out this far eastern island only to be embroiled in a murder case. I, Ouchie, shall become a vengeful god and sink my fist into the criminal's face. I take it the late Dr. Watson didn't ingest anything then. Yes, with the exception of carbonated water. Carbonated water? Although he could not eat, he could at least have a drink. So the 2 of us made a toast, she says. A toast with carbonated drinks. Huh. So, what do you think of that testimony? It's important. I believe there's a deeper meaning to the lady's testimony. Fascinating. And what meaning would that be, pray tell? When the time is ripe, the meaning shall reveal itself. The defense requests that the witness's last statement be added to her testimony. A clever save. Now then, milady. I said milady instead of my lady. I'm so sorry. Would you please add that statement to your testimony for us? Gladly, she says. Nice, Asogi. I'll remember those words. Which words? when the time is right. What a convenient phrase. Could you take this a little more seriously, Naruto? I'm sorry. It's gotta be one of the pictures, right? That doesn't look like carbonated water to me. But there is water in the glass. But there's no other glass. Present? Yeah. There's only one glass, right? That realization phase. Oh no. That's it! I'd like to confirm something about this photograph. The lady herself just told us that the spectacle shown in this photograph was exactly how the scene looked at the time. That is correct. Except that's, you know, strange. Really strange. The only strange thing here is your inability to properly swim that test. You know, you right. What is so strange about this photograph? I'm referring to the toast they made. The toast. The lady said she made a toast with the carbonated water in wine glasses. But if that were the case, the table should have 2 glasses on it. You're right. There's only a single wine glass. No matter how you look at it, that's just a trivial matter. No. How could a single wine glass have any impact on the case? Because she's lying. Trivial, you say. Even if it was the police that hit a glass to deflect suspicion from the lady? What rubbish! I would never perform such a foolish act. Then shouldn't there be 2 wine glasses? I mean, think about it. They made a toast. Yes, I suppose you have a point. While posing as a waiter, I brought 2 wine glasses to their table, but... Detective, what did you just say? Evidently, the one who removed a wine glass was none other than Miss Giselle Brett herself. What? I was so profoundly shaken by the events that had transpired before my eyes that I concealed the fact that I was there against my better judgment. Why... Sorry. Okay, well, fuck you. See, it was a trivial matter after all. Excuse me? Lest we forget, her fellow countryman was murdered before her very eyes. You cannot blame her for hiding 1 or 2 wine glasses under such duress. Yes, I can! That's absurd! Or perhaps, you dare condemn this frail foreign beauty's sense of playfulness. Yes! What? Please, you can't just dismiss something like that as mere playfulness. By the way, how exactly did she hide the wine glass? She says she placed it in the small handbag she was carrying. Her handbag. A fashionable pouch in which ladies of the British Empire store personal items. With this, we've established that the lady took the wine glass from the scene. However, said wine glass is irrelevant to the case at hand. This evil student is merely grasping at straws. The court has no need for any more of his misleading accusations. Indeed, now that we know why the lady took that wine glass, we must all agree that it has no bearing on the case at hand. Understood, attorney? Huh? But... I wonder... This way, if we wish to press this issue any further, we must first prove why it is worthy of discussion. Yeah. Miss Brett whisked the glass away in her handbag, so the crucial question here is... Call attention to the handbag? Hold on a minute! She put the wine glass in her handbag? Indeed, nothing strange about that. Every lady in the British Empire owns a handbag, you know. As I recall, Miss Brett made a certain claim earlier. This dress has no pockets, there's no place for me to hide a pistol. However, we now know that she had a handbag. Wasn't it possible for her to hide a pistol in that handbag? Oh. Way to go, partner. I knew you'd notice that contradiction. What do you mean by that, you dirty little... It's simple. The defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, picked up a fallen pistol, then heard a gunshot. Since he did not pull the trigger of the pistol in his hand, there must have been another one. Another gun that was the true murder weapon. You can't mean... Detective! Yes? Did you investigate the contents of Miss Brett's handbag? No. I did not inspect it. I knew it. In other words, the other gun, the true murder weapon, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. What? What did you say? You fools. Morons. You fools. Like, what do you mean you can put a gun in a handbag? I'm gonna throw hands. Order in the court. Detective, I demand an explanation. Of what, Prosecutor Ouchie? How could you fail to give that handbag a thorough inspection? This lady has been forced to put up with false accusations due to a lack of due diligence. You did it, partner. You've created an opportunity to tear down her facade. You really think so? Are you okay? My goodness. You have no faith in the Imperial Police, I see. It's true, I did not check the contents of the lady's handbag. Because there was no need to do so. What do you mean? I must thank the student attorney over there. He has reminded me of a piece of evidence that I forgot to show to the court. This here photograph. I took this photograph as a precaution after the incident occurred. As you can see, Miss Brett's handbag was captured in this picture. What? You can clearly see the inside of her handbag. Exactly, Your Honor. This handbag was woven from leather, a material popular among high-class Londoners. My word, its contents are out on full display. Hence, there was no need to inspect it. After all, if there was a pistol inside, it would have stood out immediately. The lack of a pistol is proof of Miss Brett's innocence. That's still sus. There's something about that mark on the hand that I find not good. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this, young student. No! Order! Detective, I order you to hand over the photograph as evidence. As you wish, Your Honor. Photograph. The handbag has been filed under the court record. I hereby conclude the cross-examination of the witness. But the court believes that, with this photograph, all relevant evidence is at hand. As long as there are no issues with this photograph, all doubt surrounding this case have been cleared. Now it is time to render a verdict. I have an issue with the photograph! In other words, there is but one conclusion. No one was capable of committing the crime except for the student prostrated on his desk. I don't know what that word means. Are you okay? No, no. I thought we were about to make a great turnabout. Instead, we were shut down before we could even gain traction. Sogi. I'm sorry, Naruhodo. Now that the cross-examination is over, we have no way of prolonging this trial. What? Then the verdict will be... Objection! You put up a good fight for a starry-eyed student, I'll give you that. However, resistance is futile in the face of a fair judgment. but I didn't shoot anyone. Reflect on that fact to your heart's content from the comfort of your cell. Is this the end? Am I really going to be jailed for a crime I didn't even commit? What about Asogi? He'll be forced to give up on his dream of studying abroad. Hey, Asogi. What is it, Naruhodo? Are we really out of options? You heard the judge. As long as there are no issues with that detective's photograph, the trial cannot continue. It's over. Very well then, the court shall proceed to deliver its judgment. It appears that we can report back to the British Empire without further delay. Damn it! I will now announce the verdict for the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Please wait, Your Honor. Naruhodo, you should hold off on passing a verdict. What are you going on about? Once the trial is over and a conclusion is reached, the judge hands down the verdict. This is the most fundamental rule that governs the Supreme Court. But His Honor clearly said, as long as there are no issues with this photograph. All doubts surrounding this case have been cleared, and now it is time to render a verdict. Therefore, in the event that there's a huge issue with the evidence, the trial must go on. Are you delusional? The only purpose of this photograph was to show the items in her handbag. How could there be any issue with it? I understand the defense's concern. It's true we have yet to examine this photograph closely. However, I cannot imagine what additional clues may lie within this handbag. It's not the handbag that's important. I'm sick and tired of this student's desperate proclamations. It's not the handbag! Come on, I'm not that desperate. I just know there's something about this photograph that stands out. Very well then. We will grant the defense one last opportunity. Come again. This trial may or may not end immediately, depending on what you have to say. Understood? Oh, shit. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. We better save then. I'm pretty confident, but... In the photograph that Detective Hosonaga submitted as evidence, please proceed to point out the significant problem in this photograph. It's his fucking hand. That, right? That's sus. I don't know why, but I don't like it. Please take a look right here. On the victim's wrist, you can see a mysterious scar. Indeed. It looks like a burn. I was wondering what you might blurt out in your desperation, but really? That has absolutely nothing to do with the latest handbag, does it? That is indeed a scar from a burn. Could you elaborate, Detective? The police had noticed the burn as well during the inspection of the corpse. However, since it had nothing to do with the cause of death, it was left out of the records. That would only be fair, because even establishing precisely when the victim suffered the burn would be impossible to begin with. The more I look at this, the more I think that there's something strange about this scar. But Prosecutor Ouchi is correct as long as there's no clear connection to the case. I do not see any need to further investigate this burn mark. Unfortunately, Your Honor, the time for her to dine with officials of the university is fast approaching. If it is all right, the witness would like to kindly request that she be allowed to leave. Oh, but of course, that is not a problem at all. Your Honor, please, let us hand down the verdict at once. Naruhodo, explain yourself. Are you saying that this burn mark is somehow related to the case? To tell you the truth, I don't really know about that myself, but if I just stand idly by, it's all over for me. No matter what, I have to keep pushing forward, even if I'm just grasping at straws. You're right. Asogi, if we can prove a connection between this burn mark and the incident at hand, We may be able to wrench open a door that was once locked to us. What? There's no way you can possibly pull that off. We cannot afford to waste time listening to baseless conjecture. In other words, all we need to do is show you evidence, Your Honor. The proof that links the burn mark to this incident. That is correct. Truth be told, I had overlooked this mysterious burn mark. However, the moment you pointed it out on the photograph, I did not overlook the sudden darkness that overtook the witness's face. What? My only option is to establish a connection between the burn and the crime. This is really important. I can't mess it up. I have to find the evidence that will reveal the truth behind the burn mark. Okay. Now I ordered the defense to present evidence to the court. What evidence establishes the connection between the burn mark and this case? Not the school badge. There's gotta be something that is a similar shape. The plate. The plate, right? The plate has a mark like it on it, I'm pretty sure. Let's save. Present. This is the same photograph from before. I think photographs really are an extraordinary invention. Things that are easily overlooked by the untrained eye. It can be recorded eternally for all to see. And? What are you getting at? Tell us what we're supposed to see. I cannot allow you needless charades to waste any more of Milady's time. I hope you'll be willing to grace us with your presence for just a short while longer, miss. The connection we're looking for is very clearly shown in this photograph. Why did the victim have such a mysterious burn mark on his body? What was the cause? The cause? A bluff as obvious as that won't work on me. You would do well to present your evidence immediately. What do you suppose caused the victim's burn mark? This. The beefsteak? The beefsteak isn't the important part. It's the iron plate under the meat. The plate? Oh! What's the matter, Your Honor? The iron plate bears a certain insignia. It's safe to assume that this is the symbol of the restaurant. Ah. The insignia on this iron plate and the shape of the victim's burn mark are the perfect match. He said ouch. Naruhodo, you're really something else. He's right. Therefore, we can assume that the victim received the burn mark at the restaurant. But what does that do for us? But even if that may be true, it doesn't mean he was born on the day of the murder. Surely it was on the day before the crime, or the day before that, or any other unrelated day. Well, you see. Bad news, Prosecutor Ouchie. The chances of that are terribly low. Asogi. Why would that be? Look at how clearly the burn shows on his skin. A burn like this would have sent the restaurant into an uproar. Detective Hosanagi, what are your thoughts? Naga. Oh my god. An injury of such severity could not possibly slip by without causing a bit of a fuss. But the wound appears to be fresh. He was burned recently. And while the wound is indeed small, it has left a distinct burn mark. That means this was an especially severe burn. What does that mean for us? For example, oh yes, let me give you the conditions that would have to be present for a burn like that to form. You would have to press against a hot surface for at least 3 seconds at 90 degrees Celsius. One probably wouldn't be able to help but let out a scream from the pain. I've been undercover at the restaurant for weeks and have never heard any screams like that. As a waiter of the restaurant in question, I can confidently assure you of that. Weren't you focusing on your detective work? Fuck you, Ouchie. Indeed, that's why this is so strange. I agree with Detective Hosonaga. If you were to press your skin down on such a hot plate, you would have cried out in pain. It's just human instinct. But the detective didn't hear any screams. What's even stranger, on that day, I didn't hear anything like that either. What? If he had just accidentally dropped his hand on the hot plate for 3 seconds, can you really call it an accident if you leave it there for 3 seconds? At the time, the witnesses were me, the soldier, and the antique shop owner. Needless to say, all of us would have heard a scream if it had happened. I can't get over his fucking face. No. I love you, man. You're great. Isn't that right, prosecutor? Huh? Well, yes, that's true. Then it begs the question. Why did none of us hear Dr. Watson scream? Naruhodo, what are you getting at? I can't believe this. Even if I had no idea we would reach this kind of conclusion. But it seems that all of us may have fallen victim to an inconceivable trap. I can only think of one possible explanation for this contradiction. When the professor burned his wrist, he was already dead. Even when his wrist was pressed onto the hot iron plate, he still managed to be silent. A scenario like that would be impossible. That is, if we ignore the obvious implication. The obvious implication? Do you mean... Yes, he must have already been dead. Already? Dead? There's no other way to see it at this point. On that day, when the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Watson's dining table, the doctor was already dead. What? No, how? It can't be! Huh. Order, order! Just what in heaven's name does this mean? Haven't we been operating on the assumption that the victim was killed by a gunshot? Indeed so, Your Honor, don't be misled. The victim's outrageous claims are nothing but nonsensical attempts to twist the truth. The one twisting the truth is you, prosecutor. How so? We have established the time when the doctor burnt his wrist. The reality of this incident has already changed completely. Did you not understand? Your Honor, we demand further testimony. If the victim had been dead long before the sound of the gunshot, then there's a possibility that the witness knew about that fact. This is beyond my wildest imagination. I never would have thought this trial would be twist after twist. I'm sorry to ask this of you, Miss Brett, but you'll have to give up on your prior arrangements. Are you mad? While our country's judicial system may be immature, we cannot pass a verdict when so many clear doubts remain. Your Honor. Sus. Did she just laugh? Yes, of course. Yes, I'll happily consent to your demands. For the sake of your empire and mine, for the friendship we share with the Empire of Japan. Oh, Miss Brett? Did you just speak Japanese? Oh, certainly, I know the language. What kind of exchange student doesn't? Then why did you need an interpreter? Queen's English. English is the most beautiful language of all. A lady would never stoop to dirtying her lips with other ugly languages unless she had to. Okay, Japanese is prettier than English. It would seem that gentlemen in this land want for a chivalrous spirit. As such, I am left with no choice but to speak for myself. Oh, you really are a proper British lady. The extent of your goodwill spreads as wide as the great ocean. Very well. Miss Brett, the court requests that you give additional testimony. Tell us what you know of the circumstances surrounding the victim's death. So she's finally willing to speak for herself. This is where our fight really begins, Naruhodo. Witness testimony. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I do not know where the doctor burned himself. I simply enjoyed my beefsteak and shared a toast with him, remember? I heard the post-mortem states that he was killed with a gun. What else can I say? If there exists a way to kill without leaving a trace, then show it to me. But your inexperienced investigators couldn't possibly produce any new evidence, surely. There does exist ways to kill without a trace. Obviously. That was the most beautiful testimony that has ever graced this court. You're giving her way too much praise. I hope this to be the final time I'm forced to speak in this barbaric language. My, I do sincerely apologize if I had offended you. Not at all. Being blessed with such words fills me with joy. I knew all along that the Brunmark had nothing to do with it. I'm sure the Minister of Justice would love to hear all about today's trial. Minister of Justice. I'd like to see that the bothersome hoodlum of a student over there receives an increased punishment for his unsubstantiated accusations. Amen. Huh? Wow, thanks. Did she just say amen? She sure did. Speaking of bothersome, we're ready for the next cross-examination. I'm sure you've already noticed that this bothersome hoodlum is actually quite exceptional. Oh, my man. I love you. You shouldn't need reminding that this will be your final chance at your cross-examination. Should there be no issues with the following testimony, then this will truly be the conclusion of the trial. Do you understand, attorney? Yes, Your Honor. Very well, then. You may proceed with the cross-examination. Okay. Interesting. The victim's death. Okay. I'm just gonna keep pressing. But his wrist was on the plate for 3 seconds, so there's no way he just didn't notice. Alright, then let's flip things around. Uh-huh. I noticed something at the start of the trial, and you still haven't fixed it. The zip of your black trousers is wide open. Did you notice that? What? What? Ha! Of course not. This is indeed the truth, defendant. I noticed too. I'm embarrassed just looking at you. Okay, you could have said something. Dr. Watson truly was the picture of a British gentleman. He chose silence over making a big fuss. Is that so surprising? Ah, I see. Yes, that does certainly seem plausible. That doesn't make any sense at all! Anyway. Okay. But he was fucking dead. You just testified a minute ago that it was carbonated water, right? At the time, Dr. Watson was only allowed to drink liquids. Because of that, he ordered carbonated water. Isn't that right, head waiter? Yes, I'm sure of it. You are correct. However, as for whether the doctor had drunk any water when I carried the beefsteak over, I have no memory of that. God damn you. Oh, I know what that means. May God's blessing be upon you, right? I'm pretty sure that's the exact opposite of what it means. Please, anyway. I heard the postmortem states that he was killed with a gun. That's right. It's written in the report. Bled to death after a single shot to the chest. Yes. Fortunately, humans can't die from minuscule burn wounds. And besides that, if no trace of any other cause of death was found on the body, then nothing but the bullet you fired could have killed the victim. But if the burn is from the iron plate, it would have been shortly after it reached the table. That's right. If it had cooled off even a little bit, it wouldn't have been able to leave a burn. And if the burn did come from touching the plate, then naturally, at the time, he would have already been dead. However, the reality is that the victim died from a gunshot wound. So long as you have no evidence to refute that, your argument is meaningless. Indeed, Prosecutor Ouchie is correct. Without a trace. Whether you shoot with a gun, strangle, stab with a knife, or push someone down, whether you take someone's life, there is always a trace left behind. Indeed, that is correct. Our police force investigated everything. I can say that with absolute certainty. Right, Detective Hosonaga? I strive for the most absolutely thorough investigation to the best of my ability. There's no doubt that the average murder would leave behind a trace on the corpse. But is there any method that would be an exception to that rule? If perhaps, by any chance, you suspect me, then I would have to request you show me the means by which I killed the doctor. But that's out of the question, isn't it? Don't be absurd, the very nerve suspecting a lovely British woman of such a thing. Such an insolent fellow. I, Ouchie, shall slice him in two. What kind of murder method wouldn't leave a trace? Poison! Poison! If you want to prove it, you'll need some sort of evidence. But your inexperienced investigators couldn't possibly produce any new evidence, surely. What exactly do you mean by inexperienced? In the British Empire, all evidence left at the scene is preserved and investigated by police. But in this country, investigations are one-and-done affairs, correct? Yes. The restaurant is running business as usual today. That's why, even if the situation changes, you wouldn't be able to find new evidence. Oh! Oh, I know how this works. I need to talk to him. And your inexperienced investigators don't find a single shadow of a doubt. Isn't that nice? It's just so... how do I say this? Magnanimous? That hits right where it hurts. Those words sting, my lady. Somehow, that prosecutor feels like he's trying to act like a big shot. I'm pretty sure it's just your imagination. Though, Jazil's testimony just now. For just a moment, I feel like something was trying to jump out at me. I need to talk to him. How do I do that? Sogi, how do you do that? What do you think? I can't do it. No matter how much I press her, I can't get anything useful. That's no surprise. She's clearly very stubborn. But if we don't take action now, their cross-examination is over. No! Can't I find even a single clue? Is it really impossible to tear down the foreign belle's testimony? Hey, Asogi. What is it, Naruhodo? There's actually one thing that bothers me. What bothers you? Is it that lady? No, it's not her. It's the one next to her, Detective Hosonaga. The detective? In that last testimony, I feel like his reaction was pretty unusual. Maybe if I point out the good detective's reaction, he'll spill the beans. That's it. I've got an idea. Try pressing that lady's final statement one more time. Huh? This time, our target isn't the stoic lady, but rather that detective standing next to her. Oh, I understand. So he must be onto something. I'll try pressing her last statement one more time. Experienced. Mateo. Wait a second. I speak a little Japanese. A little tiny bit. So even if... That's it. The detective reacted to Giselle's testimony. Up until a short while ago, that detective was on the witness stand as her interpreter. But now the situation has changed completely. Detective Hosonaga is now in a position to listen to her testimony. Maybe this is the chance we've been waiting for. What do you mean? Whenever someone takes the stand to testify, they try not to show any weaknesses. However, when listening to someone else's words, they let their guard down. I see. He's completely lost in thought. Now, why don't we try questioning that detective? Question him. Naruhodo, have a look at the bottom screen. The bottom screen. Yep, here it is. Right now the lady testifying is our focus. If we slide this cursor, we can look at someone else. Then, while you're looking at another person, the option to question will appear. Pushing them while the guard is down might give you new information. If anything seems strange, don't hesitate to change your focus. Remember that. First, I'll slide the cursor and look at the detective. Then, I question. Alright, let's give it a go. So even if the situation changes, you wouldn't be able to find evidence. What is it? What on earth? I know these words and it makes me happy. Sorry, I didn't think I would startle you that much. I completely bypassed his defenses. This technique is more powerful than I thought. Now it seemed like you were deep in thought about something. Maybe the lovely lady next to you helped you remember something? If there's anything you'd like to say, please tell us. Well, just what is this? Did you forget who's testifying right now? If you have no problem with what she said, then this cross-examination is over. Oh, okay. That's not going to fly. What now? As long as he is still on the stand, Detective Hosonaga still qualifies as a witness. Also, he's directly related to the case, too. Detective Hosonaga. Yes, Your Honor. Is there anything you wish to say in regards to the testimony just now? Very well then, if Your Honor must ask, I believe I do have something to say. It is true that the Imperial Police's investigations are still inexperienced compared to Britain. But I, myself, Hosonaga, I live my life by the motto, if you plan to investigate it, do it to the utmost perfection. Therefore I, myself, Hosonaga, took from the crime scene everything I could get my hands on, all in the name of crime scene preservation. Call me a crime scene thief if you must, but I still did it. You're a crime scene thief? Her insults must have struck a nerve somewhere deep within the detective. For example, this. Isn't that... This is the bottle of carbonated water I brought to the victim's table that day. Now, 3 days later, it's just regular water. But this was once carbonated. Let no one say otherwise. It looks like there's still some water left in the bottle. She must have poisoned the water, right? I swear in this imminent new age, our country's police will become the world's best. I, Hosonaga, believe that from the bottom of my heart. Okay, calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Come on. I don't understand the witness himself, but I certainly understood his claim. The court accepts the beautiful glass bottle as evidence. Carbonated water has been filed in the court record. If I may, Miss Brett, is this, without a doubt, what the victim was drinking with you on that day? Yes, that very glass bottle. I feel like, just now, it looked like she tried to avert her eyes. What are you, Apollo? Very well then, let us get back to the cross-examination. Detective, please, try to keep yourself together. Be nice to Hosonaga. He's a good boy. I don't know if I can present the drink to this, but I am thoroughly convinced that this has got to be poisoned. At the time, Dr. Watson was drinking the carbonated water. There's still a little bit left, but by now it's probably flat. Oh, speaking of which, my throat is a little dry. Maybe I should drink some of this to soothe my throat. No! Don't, please. No, 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 no. Don't. At the very least, you shouldn't drink the evidence for our case. Yeah, you're right. After all, we don't know if there's anything in it. You're always full of surprises. It's carbonated water. We don't know if there's anything in it. I wonder. What's wrong, Naruhodo? You went silent all of a sudden. Maybe I found another possibility. Exactly. Hi. This is the glass bottle from earlier. There's only one way the victim could have been killed without leaving a trace. Of course, that would be poison. Poison? That day, Dr. Watson took a drink of this carbonated water. The liquid inside the bottle could have easily contained poison. And when the doctor drank it, that's when he died. Order! Order in the court! Who could have poisoned his drink? Maybe it was someone sitting at its table. Only one person fits that description, of course. That person would be Mrs. Giselle Brett. You poisoned Dr. John Watson. You little... How dare you make such wild, baseless conjectures? Even a mere schoolboy like you should understand the position our empire is in. We only just signed the Japanese Alliance Treaty. Do you intend to destroy this historical relationship with your mad accusations? This is no place for politics. This is a court to judge criminal sins. What are you saying? Where she's from is irrelevant. Whether she's guilty or not is all that matters. Excuse me, may I interject? Ouchie will forcefully silence all... Ooh. She's gonna snap soon. She's gotta... The one who should be silenced is you. Oh, yes, ma'am. What in the world? Suddenly, the air feels so tense. Please excuse my earlier remark. I fear it was quite rude. I sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart. What remark could you be referring to? I called the Japanese police inexperienced. But even with their lack of experience, I'm sure they at least conducted a proper investigation. Surely they investigated whether or not this bottle was laced with poison. No. Of course we did. Did you? Huh? What? As I had stated earlier, I always strive for perfection. It is my life's goal. Then, naturally, we have inspected the contents of this glass bottle. My word! And what of the results? After analyzing it against all poisons known in our country, our conclusion is... This carbonated drink contains no poison whatsoever. What? Are you absolutely sure? That is the conclusion reached by the Chief Imperial Medical Examiner himself. What? Fuck. No, it's gotta be a poison we don't know about then, right? Please allow me to express my sincere gratitude to the people of this country. They so graciously proved my innocence. I am truly in your debt. Drink the water then, bitch! Of course we did. That's all part of the job, my lady. No thanks necessary. I'm pulling a Mia. Drink the water then. If you think it's not poisoned, then drink it. This bee. This is ridiculous. If he was poisoned, all the pieces of the puzzle would fit together perfectly. It would seem that all has been made clear with this cross-examination. Other than this pistol, there was no other available means to murder the doctor. Therefore, the one who committed this crime can only be the defendant who was holding the weapon in his own hand. This really is the end of the line for me. No. I do deeply apologize for taking up your time, Miss Brett. There's no need for apologies, just as long as everyone knows the truth. Fuck you. Defense, there was one thing I would like to confirm with you. Do you have any other evidence that you wish to present? Come on, Naruhodo. Asogi. I'm sorry, Naruhodo. We have nothing left. Well then, I will take my leave of you all. Drink the fucking water! Well, what's that? My girl? I must ask for your patience. I remember her. Who was that? I'm deeply sorry for interrupting this trial. I'm a legal assistant. My name is Susato Mikotoba. Mikotoba? She appeared calm and dignified in our desperate final moments. In her hands, she held a small bag enveloped in cloth. Oh, come on. My girl!